is going to be a very, very, very fast mission. We have actually pretty high winds in this area right now. I want to take it up and take it over to the area where they're doing the construction. This is a weekly check on the Econ Extension, and let's go ahead and take a look. All right, I can't see a dang thing. Oh, God, I hate that. In sports mode. All right, let's go out. Winds are pretty high, and I'm actually flying with the wind right now. All right. As you can see, let me just turn it. Okay, they have a few more buildings, a few more houses up, I think two more behind those other two, you know. Let's take a ride down here. See what they're doing over here as far as this construction's going. I'd love to see if they're going to extend Econ all the way to some other road to meet up with some other road out there. I don't see them extending it. You see that? So what I'm looking at now is after the circle, if you continue down Econ, it stops. And if you look way down there, it looks like you can almost connect Econ to another part of Orlando. And that's what I was looking to see if they were going to do. I don't see them extending it. I do see this little bit over here that seems like they want to extend it somewhere, but I don't know. Man, the winds are really picking up. Let me see here. It's starting to get cloud cover. The winds are picking up. It says 14-mile-an-hour gusts, but I don't know. I have an app that I use that really shows me. Let me see. I can't really see with the glare, but you see that? How they're extending that? Do they plan on building a road that goes over there? That looks like another housing community. I used to think that was Narcoossee, but Narcoossee is not that close. Narcoossee would be like all the way down there. If they extended it to Narcoossee, it would be way, way, way down there into Lake Nona. And I know that there's land enough to do that, but I just don't know if that's something that they plan on doing or not. But okay. And you can see over here, and look at the lake down below. You see the water moving? That's how strong the winds are. I should probably take this in. But we see over here now, is that a worker? No, it's not. If that's a person, that's a tall person. Okay, you see these two houses right here. I don't think these two houses next to the parking lot were there last week. So I think those are two new structures. I was looking it up online. They are going to have like a facility, like a rental hall, and they're going to have like a gym and stuff like that. So I believe these parking lots are for stuff like that, or the amenities for the community, you know? And there was a gigantic structure. I think it's that structure right there in the middle of that gigantic pole. We're up 350 feet, but I think that pole is about 200. And I was doing research, and believe it or not, you can I'm going to come back just because I don't have a long time for a mission this morning. Yeah, look at that. I'm coming back full speed. It's 26 miles an hour. Getting out there, 34, easy. See? So you see kind of like when you're dealing with winds, how sometimes it's, it's not a big deal, but sometimes it is. So 18 mile an hour gusts is probably what I'm feeling right now. And I was able to fly out there at 34, 35 miles an hour. And now I'm coming back in at 27, 26. Yeah. Full speed. Just reached 28. But the wind is going against it pretty hard. See if I can see it. Should be able to see it or hear it. I mean, I know I'm up there. There it is. Let's bring this thing down. These winds are too much right now. It says 14, 18 miles an hour, but I think I'm actually approaching something closer on the lines of 20 to 22 mile an hour winds. Oh, did I just unfocus on my face? Okay, I don't know what I did. All right, so as you can see, there's a couple new structures up there. We're getting an idea as to what they're doing. I would love to see them extend Econ so that we can get to an area like Lake Nona without using 417 and without going down Narcoossee, which would, Narcoossee turns into one lane. And it's like this weird lane that shares like a lane with bikes. And, if you have someone in front of you who thinks the speed limit is 2, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But this is where we are. I feel raindrops, so I'm just going to go ahead and shut this mission down. It was a fast flight today, but I just wanted to take a quick look, do my weekly check on the Econ building project. But as you can see now, there's a lot going on. And there's a police officer coming my way, so we'll find out if he's going to come in here and talk to me about flying my drone. But I have my license, and I'm not too concerned. I don't think I'm trespassing or anything. But, all right, end of mission. There's the police officer. He just drove by over there, and we don't see him. So maybe he's just doing a drive-by, or maybe he just lives in the area. But I'll post on this thing later on if the police officer stopped to talk to me. All right, see you later.
Hey, Artie Astor here from Deftly Droning. So, this is me hours later in the same day. The police officer never came to speak to me. After the police officer drove by, an employee to the facility that I was parked at, filming, doing my thing, an employee came out and started working on the property, cutting the grass and doing some yard work, never questioned me either. But it still begs to question, is what I'm doing okay? Is it okay to show up in a random parking lot and go up into the air, fly over a construction site that has a no trespassing sign posted 400 feet in the air and look down and document their progress? Is that legal? Yes, all of it in the state of Florida is legal, okay? I can do all of that. Now, does that mean that I just tooth and nail, hold on and fight to my right if someone comes over to me and asks me to leave? If the foreman to the job site comes over and says, hey, there's been word that you've been flying your drone in the area, If a policeman comes over, if the employee to the person that I'm parked at comes over and says, we don't want you here doing your drone flying, do I fight for my right? Look, this is me. I would not. I would not sit there and quote FAA regulations and Part 107 laws and the state of Florida laws and regulations and sit, because all I'm going to do is cause waves, is rock the boat. The foreman at the job site might actually contact his insurance company or a lawyer or somebody else. And all I'm going to do is make it harder for drone pilots in the future to film the things that they want to film. The reason why I'm so interested in this construction project is because it is very close to my home. I think it's very interesting that it looks as though, and I could not find anything online. I went online and I looked around and I tried to find some information on it. I couldn't find anything, but it looks as though they're going to connect Econ to another part of Orlando or greater Orlando. And if they did, let's just say they extended Econ all the way somehow to Lake Nona or something like that, that will really forever change the way of life of the people who live in Southeast Orlando, like I do. You know, right now we have to get on 417 or we have to drive on Narcoossee. You know, imagine just driving out to your road that you essentially live on and then just driving all the way down to a place that you actually frequent anyways, but now you can do it a lot easier. Look, this project that they're doing over there is huge. They are going to put up hundreds of homes, hundreds of facilities, extend an already very popular road in Orlando, and I think it's fascinating. You know, so I like to document what they're doing. I am moving the day that I film to Sunday morning because there doesn't seem to be anybody there. So if something happens, a bird flies overhead and hits my drone and it falls 400 feet, it's not going to land on a worker. And trust me, a drone falling from 400 feet, landing on someone's head can cause serious injury, you know. And these are the things that you have to keep in mind. So I'm doing it as safely as possible. And in the past, you've seen some of my past videos. I actually have been flying over people as they've been working. And that's something that I actually don't want to continue to do out of respect for them. And in the rare chance that a bird hits my drone and it falls out of the sky. Contrary to what people might think, drones do not just stop working in the air and fall out of the sky. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. I mean, helicopters and planes fall out of the sky. It's extremely rare. You know, if you do your inspection before you fly, you check your propellers, you make sure everything's spinning and rotating loosely enough. You check everything, you check your battery, you check the wind conditions. I have a small drone, which is really affected by winds over 20 miles an hour. You check everything. 99 times out of 99 times, 999 times out of 1,000, you're going to get up and you're going to fly your drone. You can do a 20-minute mission and it's going to be without any issues, you know. What you don't want to do is take risks. And I feel as though so far I have not been taking risks with my drone. The riskiest thing I've done was when I was at Clearwater Beach. I took the drone up 400 feet, which I'm allowed to do at night, but I took it out 10,000 feet. I took it out actually 11,000 feet, over 2 miles. And looking back, and I flew over a huge body of water. I didn't put anyone's life at risk. I didn't put anyone's property in danger. But I did lose sight of my drone and I did fly over a very large bay. So I could have easily lost my drone. And that would have been a loss for me, you know. But the drone had a home signal to come to. So if I lost radio signal, then it would just fly back home without any problems or anything like that. So look, these are the things that, as you fly a drone, you learn how to be careful. But I think the most important thing is that you want to make sure you don't bother people by your attitude. I've seen some drone footage online. People have gotten some excellent footage, right? And then like a policeman comes over and starts talking to the drone pilot, saying this, that, and the other thing. Well, this is no trespassing, or you're flying over a private property, or, oh, I understand you want to get to that park over there, but to get to that park, you're flying over a private company, and you can't do that. And then I've seen drone pilots come out and start quoting laws. Well, I can't. And, a lot of times, look, I've seen it happen a lot, especially when like people are filming a private property from the ground on the sidewalk, and the police come over and ask them to leave, and the person who's filming is a complete and total jerk. No, I have the right to film here. Don't you know the laws? You're a cop. And all you're doing is irritating the person. You're exacerbating the situation. It's already a tense situation, and you're making it worse by being a complete and total arrogant jerk. And I think if you do that, especially to a police officer who does like to be respected, because their life depends, in a life and death situation, many times depends on how well they exercise their authority and if others in the area respect their authority. So in a non-life-threatening situation, if you completely lambaste and belittle the officer and make him feel like crap and challenge him and act like a complete and total arrogant jerk, it's usually not going to wind up good. No, he's not going to pull out his revolver and shoot you. You're challenging someone whose life depends on how they exercise their authority and how their authority is respected. A person filming from the side of the road doesn't necessarily have those same dynamics in life. So, that's one of the reasons why I'm ready. Every morning before I go out, and if I'm going to film something, and if I'm going to go to a certain area, I'm always ready in my mind to give a kind answer to someone if they approach me. Now, if someone approaches me and they ask me to act, they act like a complete jerk. They ask me to leave, but they're acting like a complete and total jerk, which can happen. And I've seen it happen on YouTube. If someone approaches me and they act like that, I think it might be within me to say, you know what, out of respect for you, I apologize and I'm going to leave. But I think it is important for you to know that I am not breaking any laws. But I'm going to leave because I don't want to bother you. And this is, you view this as an invasion of your privacy, and I respect that. But I think when someone comes at you and they're just yelling and screaming and they're irate and they're saying that what you're doing is illegal, I don't think there's anything wrong with defending it and saying, sorry, sir, or sorry, ma'am, what I'm doing is not illegal, but I perfectly understand why you're bothered by it. So I'm gonna go find another place to launch from and then go there. I don't know. But those are the things that I have in mind. I'm already prepared when I leave, because drone pilots nowadays many of us have a bad rap, because of the fact that, you have idiots flying on the White House lawn. You have people peeping in through bathroom window. Why would you fly your drone up to someone's house and peek in their bathroom window? I mean, because of that issue, and the fact that it does happen, we do have a bad rap. It's kind of funny. The other day I was flying my drone out right in front of my house. Right out in front of the house. I flew it about a half mile down the road. I was just looking at some things. It was about 400 feet up. And I heard a drone. And I turned around, and only about 70 feet up, there was a drone directly above me just looking down at me. Now, I looked up at it and waved, but it stayed there for quite a period of time and looked at me. And I haven't done that yet, and I don't think that that's something that I would feel comfortable doing, is flying up to a stranger coming down to 70 feet, which is really low. Coming down to 70 feet, which is pretty much tree line, and then just hovering above a person. Technically, you're not allowed to do that unless you have permission, flying directly above someone, unless they're put on notice. You technically don't have permission to fly over groups of people without them being put on notice, especially if you're flying directly over. Now, if you're flying over moving vehicles, you can cross a road, but you can't fly directly over the road and directly over traffic. As far as like a highway, you have to cross the highway. You cannot fly with the highway, unless the people on the highway somehow are put on notice that you're doing that, So there are certain things that you're allowed and that you're not allowed to do, and there are certain things that you are allowed to do, but you probably shouldn't do, because they're just not, in my opinion, they're just not polite, But anyways, I'm going to keep you updated, and this is Artie Astor from Deftly Droning, and until next video, we'll talk to you.